look at it. We are now in 2019. And we're doing a big Hindi film on the 1983 World Cup. In that sense, Sunil Gavaskar, we mentioned T20 for a moment. Was 83 World Cup the turning point for Indian cricket? That's what changed Indian cricket forever.
Yes, it did. Yes, it did. Because colour television had come into India just about 6 months earlier, just around 1982 when the Asian Games were played in New Delhi. And colour television had just come in. And India wasn't getting live cricket for a while. And this one, in 1983, where India won the World Cup in colour television live, you know, when people got to see it live, I think that changed Indian cricket forever. Because after that, it's just taken off, and we have to say that 1983 win was the first step towards what cricket is today.
Yeah, we become the superpower of the game in a way. Shane Warne, you know, there's something about the Australians and the World Cup. There have been times when you've come into the World Cup not in form. And then when the World Cup comes, the Australians raise their game. What is it about the World Cup that galvanizes this Australian cricket team, all Australian cricket teams over the years, to in some way raise the bar?
Yeah, well, as I said at the start, I think India and England are the two favourites, and probably I fancy India. But I think Australia, you can't write off Australia. I mean, they've won, 5 of the last 6 World Cups. Right. I think they've played in 6 of the last 7 finals. There's something that it's really important. You know, the World Cup is really important. I think it brings out the best in the Australian team. Australia played pretty ordinary for the last 12 months or so with a lot of issues. But just in the last month or so, they're starting to hit their straps and starting to play well. And I just think a lot of their players are in form. So I think generally when they come here together, they're pretty clear with their strategy. They play the World Cups really well. And that's been, ever since the start of the World Cups in '75, they've played well. So I think they enjoy it. I think coming in, they've generally had some big players. To win a World Cup, you need your big players to play well. You're not going to win them with your players that just play their role all the time. You need your big players to stand up in any team. If your big players stand up, you'll win the World Cup. Simple as that. That's
right. You won 4 of the last 6, which is quite remarkable. The big players. Let's look at the big players. Who are those big players, Sunil Gavaskar, in this World Cup that you think have that ability to win a World Cup? As Shane Warne says, there's always those 2 or 3 players with that X factor. Do you see Virat and Bumrah, particularly in the Indian context, as the 2 people who have the ability, or is it's unfair to expect 2 players to take a team all the way to the World Cup finals and win it?
Well, sometimes you can. Sometimes it's an outstanding performance by an individual that can take the team across the line. I mean, look at what happened against Zimbabwe in 1983. We were 17 for 5, and Kapil Dev came and played an innings of 175. Single-handed. Single-handed.